Hi friends, host Derek here, host talking to those people. I want to talk in this video a little bit about agency, aristocratic Democrats, democratic aristocrats, and the nature of darkness and light. So, first of all, let's just say that AGPs are aristocratic Democrats. We're imperious, we believe we're hot shit, and in a lot of ways act like we think we're better than other people. When we're insecure, especially. Or when we're too secure. I don't know. I gotta hit the sweet spot there. So, regardless, we aren't aristocratic. What does that mean? Well, we don't believe anybody deserves anything just because of their position. Just because they're the bigwig. We don't take equity into account when it comes to identity issues, as a general rule. No matter what you did before, this is a new thing. Everything by its merits. This is true of me, certainly, and I think it's a position that a lot of people hold, whether or not they're democratic or aristocratic according to socionics. Most Americans agree in principle of equality under the law, that famous people shouldn't get special treatment. Well, I mean, our famous people, the only real famous people should get special treatment, of course. But celebrities shouldn't get special treatment. Stuff like that, you know? Megan Bro is a very democratic aristocrat. He prioritizes his TI and FI. TI unconscious for him, but he's very TI effective. And for valuing societal shit, he prioritizes that over TEFE 100%. And, he was the one who started to introduce me to the notion that I had FE misunderstood originally. But what it was, that there was a complete misconception about which one of the two was actually selfish. I get that now. And Meg wrote, it'll make you happy to know that for my new woman that I'm pursuing, it's all about the FI. No more business deals. As I think Mega Bro has come to respect TI, so too have I come to respect FI and the importance of prioritizing those kinds of truths as well. They're truths of significance, although they may additionally be truths that are, by definition, by nature, hard to nail down. So, and that's why extrovert thinking is always paired with introvert feeling, because introvert feeling doesn't care about exclusivity. It says, this is what I want, exclusivity be damned, consistency be damned, logic be damned. That's what I want. And TE goes, okay, well, how can we get that? He doesn't say, well, is that consistent? Can you have that? It says, how can we get that? And so I respect FI's greed. I really do. I respect its greed. I respect it's knowing what it wants and going and getting it. I've always had the going and getting it part down for most things in life, anyway. Well, not always, but at least, you know, I haven't been afraid to go assert myself. Knowing what I want, that's a different matter. Anyhow, I'm getting off topic. Let me smoke this bowl while I think about it. Which brings us to this issue of helping. It's a kind of weird and not necessarily as intuitively sensible as it might initially seem. Desire to a sensible desire to do what? Oh, to explain why we do things in terms of on purpose. And the purpose that people default to because it works as an answer, it's hard to dispute the validity of it, is, oh, I want to help people. Why are you doing this YouTube channel? Oh, I want to help people. Well, that's not why I'm doing the YouTube channel. I mean, but that doesn't mean I don't want to help people. See, it's like, I do want to help people, but that's not why I'm doing anything. I don't know why I do anything, but while I'm here, it's one of those kind of things. While I'm here, if I can help. So, let's talk about helping. I'll talk about Taylor's position on helping versus my position on helping, and how they reveal the difference between us and something about the nature of how I operate and why maybe it's deserving your attention or something. I don't know. Whatever conclusion you want to draw from there. So here's the thing. Taylor disavows the position that he's trying to help somebody, but I understand that to be what it is, which is he disavows making those arguments because he knows how that path goes. He knows where that line of reasoning ends. It's presumptuous to try to help people who haven't asked for your help. And so one learns techniques of trying to help people indirectly if one actually wants to be helpful, and one wants to have outcomes rather than readiness. And that's exactly what Taylor does. He stands in the shadows and shoots shadows into the light that optimize it. Or the coal elves, in a sense, Sansa's team. We're the ones who deliver the coal to the naughty children. Nobody wants to receive the coal, but without us the system doesn't work. Otherwise they're not being rewarded for anything. They're just giving presents for nothing, for existing. And that's not the way the whole Christmas economy is supposed to work, right? You're not supposed to get presents for nothing. Now, one might say, well, why not? Why can't you just get presents for nothing? That would be fine. But that's not the way the Christmas economy works. One might imagine a different economy in which that were the case. But in the status quo, that's not the way the Christmas economy works. So, how does that part of the analogy line up properly with reality? That's the other part I get, but what about that part, Eric? Well, it's because we need to think about discourse as Christmas, I guess. And we say that to the extent that Christmas has a purpose, the purpose is to get children to behave. To the extent that discourse has a purpose, that purpose is to allow people to communicate fairly. Same basic idea. So, when people experience harms in life, it's almost always because, in fact, I can't hardly think of any other way it could happen. I mean, except for like physical injuries, maybe. When people experience any kind of real harms in life that aren't random physical injuries and stuff, it is because there's been a communicative failure of some sort. Necessarily so. Somebody's not having their position heard and respected. Somebody's having their ontology or epistemology invalidated. And that's why there's conflict. Now the question then becomes, well, how do you deal with that then, Eric? Were you going to try to tell us which epistemology is right? Which No, that's exactly the point. I'm not going to try to tell you any of that sort of stuff. How does one deal with a reality where one needs to preach the gospel of autonomy, knowing that group transcendence or something is contraindicative of individual transcendence? That's the problem, right? Now I'm less imperious in some ways. Probably the most means peace, especially given a certain amount of cause to swagger or something. I think I'm less imperious than most. I think my imperiousness is democratic. But I'm nevertheless committed to helping, which I guess would be a trait of imperiousness, to presume others need help. What makes it wholly imperious is to presume others need help and can't handle knowing about the help they're receiving directly. That's the difference between me and Taylor, is he accepts that reality and pitches his shadows into the light for the purpose of preserving the light. I stand in the light and pitch the shadows into the light and pitch more shadows upon my shadows and push those shadows into the shade that already exists and let them do their work. I stand in the light because that's what makes it revolutionary. we're never going to reach the singularity of the species until we handle this shit. Until we can take a true complete mirroring of our identity and look at it and stand before its essence. Okay. We haven't heretofore had the opportunity, right? We go about life with not a lot of mirrors around and nobody filming us. But that's changing. When an identity is crafted in a fully reflective environment where individuals and technologies alike reveal about that individual their true nature to them, as seen by others, as seen through multiple other perspectives, well, I guess then you know who you are. Maybe. You clean up all the little mistakes, I guess. Or you do a better job of it than you have in the past. You want to improve. Because nobody wants to be hated. Nobody wants to be shamed. Me too, for sure. I get shamed. I get shamed and I get ashamed. Why? Because I fail. I fail all the time. And I like an environment that calls bullshit on my failure to the extent that it can every single time it spots it. It's what makes me better as a human being, and it has the same impact on everybody else. But that doesn't mean it's easy to be a human in the world. And yet, these shadows I cast into the future as well as push into the future. They sit, they percolate. Drip, drip, drip. I know not what I do. As a consequence, if I'm to do well, my intuition has to be right. And in no just universe would a man be put on this earth unable to do good. Think about it. Thanks for watching Talking with Famous People. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese, and I love you. God damn it.